aspire to have students who are forward, great thinkers, who have got the skills to be able to meet challenges, problem solve and think about ways that are possibly outside the box to come up with solutions that will allow them to progress not only in their education, but then when they step into the wider world.
Before the project, we were really focused on maybe more of a science-based process versus a STEM-based process. So a lot of our challenges or topics that we were targeting with students were very focused around science, where I've now come in with PBL to make it more general focused.
Through STEM and PBL in general, we aim to have our students to be able to develop those inquiry skills, to think about not just what is there, but what's not there, so that they can come up with solutions that are innovative, even if they're not technologically based, but innovative and lead to realistic real-world solutions.
So building up on those inquiry-based skills, design skills, questioning skills, anything around that, I think PBL really enhances that.
In developing this program, we aim to provide students with the actual skills that they require to be able to explore issues, view them at a deeper context, but then take it to the next step to say, well, what is not being asked?
Working in this project, it's really helped myself understand how to structure a classroom for PBL, particularly with how I can help assist the staff that I'm then leading in that subject. We've been really focusing on collaborating together as staff this year with the hopes of next year then leading into more PBL focused within our projects that we're working on. We call it IMP, which stands for Inquiring Minds program. So yeah, trying to build more capacity in our staff so that we can then lead our students into it confidently. PBL can be a little difficult sometimes when you have students who have English as a second language. So we're very conscious that maybe we need a little bit more structure than maybe other schools do when doing PBL. So it's a challenge to then think of a way to be student-led, but also teacher-focused so we can guide the students. We are asking the students specifically, what's in your community that you need to fix?
Some of our students have been looking at some of the global sustainability goals as issues that need to be addressed to help to improve the world. Our Year 9s have been looking at some of that in terms of social justice issues, or even looking at being part of the Zoos Victoria Endangered Species Program, looking at how we can better the lives for our animals that are in captivity.
So the idea of this PBL has really expanded our ability to explore other parts of the curriculum, which often becomes quite difficult in secondary schooling. So since working on the project, I've come into contact with some really great schools and been interacting with them. It's really interesting to see it from a primary school perspective as well. I've really enjoyed how we can then collaborate together as schools to kind of see what other schools are doing.
So in the future, we hope to achieve a program that is more sequential and that helps to develop our students' skills starting from Year 8, where it's quite directed and focused, and from there moving into the Year 9 program, which is a little bit more broad and open, but still having developed the skills of inquiry and project-based learning to be able to then address certain challenges that are out in the real world.
Probably my biggest goal with my team is to lead away from giving the students the question and actually give them a broad problem in the world where then they can then formulate their own question and investigate, prototype, test, create, improve, all of those steps themselves. That's where we're currently at.
Our teacher, Miss Black, presented us with a competition called STEM Mad, and basically she gave us a list of 10 problems.
Big problems around the world, and we collectively as a group, we chose trash in the ocean.
So we decided to solve the problem about the abundance of plastics and other forms of rubbish in the ocean.
We know that pollution in the ocean is a huge problem to like every part of life. It's in the fish's stomachs.
All of the microplastics our marine animals are ingesting because of the mass amount of trash within our oceans.
We just brainstormed a lot of solutions to how we can clean the ocean. And ultimately the one that came out on top was a robot.
It's a little robot that looks like a crab that traverses the ocean floor picking up different pieces of rubbish.
We needed to have an AI system that allowed it to figure out trash. So our team member Paul found a website online that allowed us to teach AI to basically recognize different things in the ocean. So for an example, if a piece of plastic were to be shown to the sensor, it'll recognize it as a piece of plastic. So say a plastic bottle or a chip packet, and even other things like fish. So if a fish were to come in front of the camera, it would recognize it as 100% fish.